Hello people, and welcome to the 9th tutorial of Twitter Bootstrap. So in this tutorial we will learn how we can create carousel in Twitter Bootstrap. So this tutorial was requested by one of my subscribed user. And what is carousel? Carousel is like a slideshow where you can display images or even text. So you will see how it looks like at the end of this tutorial. So let's get going. So first of all, we need to download Bootstrap. So just type Twitter Bootstrap in Google and go to the first link, scroll down and download Bootstrap. So it will download a zip file. So we will extract the zip file. So in that extracted folder, all we need is these three folders: CSS, IMG and JS. So I'll just select all, copy them, and I paste them in the folder which I created earlier. So this folder, this is the test folder which I created on my desktop. So in this folder I pasted my Bootstrap, and you can notice that I've got 4 images which I'll be displaying in my carousel, and in this folder I will also keep my HTML file. So now after that we need to also download a carousel JS file. So in the menu we'll say JavaScript plugins. So I'll click on carousel. So you can see carousel looks like this. It's a slide where you can display images and text as well. So we will download that bootstrap carousel.js file. So download file. So it will open in the browser. So Control A to select all and Control C to copy, and go to Notepad++ and paste it there, and then file, save as, and I will save it in my test folder and in GS folder which I downloaded with the Bootstrap. So GS folder, I will name it carousel.js. okay, so after we downloaded our Bootstrap and carousel.js which we saved in GS folder, we can start creating our HTML file. So file, save as, I will save this as a test.html. okay, so opening HTML tag, closing HTML tag, then head tag, closing head tag, and then body tag, closing body tag. So in between head tag I will give a link to my Twitter Bootstrap CSS file. So rel style sheet type text / CSS and href. So it's saved in CSS / name of the file is bootstrap.css. okay, so after giving the link to my Bootstrap CSS file, we also need to give a link to jQuery. So you can either download jQuery on your local computer, or you can give a link to online jQuery hosted by the Google. So I will give a link in my HTML file to online jQuery hosted by the Google. So go in the Google and just simply type jQuery, or simply Google jQuery link. Okay, scroll down and click in this Google Library API link. And then if we scroll down, we can see here, I'll just copy this script tag and I will paste it here. So now I'm given a link to jQuery, and in your body tag we will start coding HTML. So first of all, I'll create a div tag which will have a class container which is provided by the Twitter Bootstrap. It will simply center all our content in our web page. Okay, then I will give another div tag. It will have a class row which will create a row for us, and then another div tag which will have a class span6 which defines the width of this div tag, and then another class well which will give it a nice little background. Okay, now if we run our file, So it looks like this. You can see there's a div tag with a nice little background, and the width is span 6. So you can define the width from span 1 to span 12. Depends how wide do you want your div tag to be. So after that we will create our carousel. So we'll create a div tag which will have first of all ID. I'll say my carousel, and which will have a class called Carousel, which is provided by the Twitter Bootstrap, and I'll close that div tag. So this is the main carousel tag. So within this main carousel tag we'll define another div tag which will have a class carousel hyphen inner. So in this div tag we will define all the item which we want to be displayed in our carousel. So to define the item, we create div tag with a class item, and we close the div tag, and in between div tag I will provide image because I want to display image in my carousel. So img tag with the source img1.jpg. So these images, img1 is the image which is stored in my folder, so img1.jpg. So I will display all these 4 images in my carousel. So simply I'll just copy and paste it 3 more times. Okay, I'll just change the name of my image, img234. Okay, so now if I run my file, check it in the browser, nothing happens. Something must have gone wrong here. So there's my carousel, class carousel, div class carousel inner, class item. Okay, I'll make the first item active. So this is the first item which is active and will be displayed. So if I refresh, you can see there now. Okay, so this is the first image which is active, and it is being displayed on my carousel. Now what I will do is I will add left and right or next or previous button on my carousel. So after your carousel inner div tag, we will create a link which will have attribute called which will have a class, and the class will be carousel hyphen control and space left. Okay, and which will have href attribute, and the href attribute will be my carousel. So you see I've given it a hashtag my carousel, and this my carousel is the ID of main carousel div tag. So you can see the ID is my carousel, so whatever the ID is, just paste it here in href tag. Okay, so after href tag there's another attribute, data slide. This will be previous, as this will be the previous button, and then I will close my link tag. Okay, so this link tag will contain a angle a less than sign. So for the less than sign in Unicode we define it as LSAQUO and semicolon. Okay, so if I run my file, refresh, okay, so not $, it's and. So let's just refresh, and there you can see you've got the previous button. Now we'll create the next button as well. So simply just copy this one and paste it down here, and we'll say RSA this time, and data slide value will be next, and carousel control will be right. Okay, so let's just refresh, and there you go, I have that next button as well. So I want to display my you see this image in the center. Don't want this button to be over the image, so I can simply do this by adding satisfied. Okay, I can simply do this by adding a center tag. If I add a center tag here, and all the items of carousel are in between center tag, it will center all my images. So refresh, and there you can see it centered all the images. So now at the moment we cannot scroll through the images, so what we're gonna do is now we will import over, before the body tag finishes, we will add a script tag, and the source will be the carousel JS which we downloaded earlier. So it's saved in the JS folder slash carousel.js, and I will just close the script tag. Okay, so this carousel.js is the file which we downloaded earlier, and is saved in this JS folder, the carousel.js. Okay, so after we imported this file, what we need to do is, in our head tag we will just simply write a little bit of jQuery. So open the script tag, type will be text slash JavaScript, and then closing script tag. So in between I'll say $document.ready. So when the document is loaded, we'll call a function. So this function will simply run over carousel. So $, then within quotation mark dot carousel, then we'll call the function carousel, which is provided in this JS file. So in this you can see we grabbed over main carousel div tag by using the class. So this is the class, so dot carousel, we're grabbing this div tag and we're applying this carousel function. So let's just run our web page, and now you can see we can scroll through the images. And if we don't hover over this slide, you will see it automatically changes the images after an interval which is predefined. So you can change the interval time, so you can either scroll through the images quickly or slowly. How you can do that is simply within these braces of carousel function, define opening and closing curly brackets, and in between that just write interval and give the time in milliseconds. So interval 1000 milliseconds. Okay, so if I refresh, you will see that images are changing quickly now, because it's only 1 second. After 1 second, images are changing. So this is how you can create carousel in Twitter Bootstrap. It is quite simple. If you guys have any question regarding this tutorial, please drop me an email at either creativeeditors@gmail.com or naveed@creativeeditors.org, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter and visit my website. All the links you can find on my YouTube channel. On the right hand side there are all the links to my website or on my Twitter. And if you got any question, drop me an email. Thanks for watching. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and see you in the next tutorial.